We're the Marty family, and we're from Greenville, Illinois. And the month of September is coming up, and the Pediatric Cancer Families reuse it to promote awareness for pediatric cancer. And I think, we're 3 years into this journey now, and there's a lot of things that we've learned that we've never known before. And initial diagnosis, you just kind of go through the stages of shock and grief, and then you really start to see the beauty of your community rally behind you, especially if you're from a small town. And for us, coping with that diagnosis, it's challenging, right? There's lots of tears, and but the faith of our community and ourselves and our family, that really rallied behind us, and the support was a godsend, and it really helped us through those first, several months of just grasping the diagnosis and processing it. For me, I guess, personally, as a way to cope, I ultimately had to quit my job and to stay with Taylor, to take care of him, and just to keep the household kind of going. And I had, you're pretty isolated when you have a medically fragile child. You're pretty isolated. So for me, my way to cope was my garden. I like to garden, and it was a hobby before Taylor was diagnosed, and I just kind of try to kept it up as much as I could through everything. Fortunately, I have family who has come over and watered it for me if we were in the hospital for a while, or picked it and canned it for me. But that's what I did. What did you do, sis, to cope when Taylor first got diagnosed?
I drew, and I played on my I played, and I don't know what else.
Did you play with your cousins and
A little bit. We
hung
didn't
out with grandmas a lot?
Yeah, but we didn't really get to see the cousins a lot
Okay.
because we had to stay at home.
Mhm. What did you do to cope, man?
Communication, faith, community,
Prayers.
prayers, spend time with Taylor and Natalia as much as the family as we could.
And whenever we got Rocky, we played with
got
him.
the puppy, we played with him.
Oh, he's so cute.
I know one of the things that Tracy's a big advocate for is also late effects of cancer treatment. And with neuro kids, their whole treatment, so that the part that they're underneath chemotherapy and radiation for, it's kind of like a roller coaster. You never know what you're going to get. And, two kids could have the exact same treatment, and they're going to come out completely different. They would have reactions to medications differently, and being diagnosed with colon cancer or breast cancer is not the same as being diagnosed with brain cancer, and being diagnosed with brain cancer isn't the same as being diagnosed with breast cancer and colon cancer. These kids' bodies are still growing, and when they have to undergo chemotherapy and radiation, it's detrimental to their development. And you can see Mr. Taylor here, he's got lots of extra hardware on him, but his lights are still on. He still knows what's going on. He's kind of fighting a little bit of a cold right now, but before diagnosis, Taylor was a completely normal, average kid, and
He started losing his hair though.
yeah, he started losing his hair due to
Just like
chemotherapy, yeah. And treatment, while undergoing treatment, chemotherapy and radiation had a rare but serious side effect called disseminated necrotizing leukoencephalopathy. And so what that did is it damaged his white and gray matter in his brain. So it has left him unable to walk, unable to talk.
But he can still moan and groan.
He still makes noises.
That's talking to us.
Yeah. He communicates in his own way now. He still understands us. He still has some movement in his hands and his legs, but not much. We are currently working on that, and he has a trach and a vent, and he didn't get the trach and the vent until a little over a year after he finished treatment. So, you know, side effects pop up during treatment, and then you're dealt with the late effects after treatment. And, you know, the other thing that a lot of families don't realize too, even going into it, you know it's going to be like expensive, but and rough, yeah. And each child's journey is so different. And, you know, I've often talked and joked about our binders.
Yep.
You know, fortunately, we've been blessed with decent insurance through my husband's current employer and previous employer, and they were very, very good to us during diagnoses and even now, and we're very grateful for that. But these binders are a good visual aid of what families go through. So in these binders is Taylor's every explanation of benefit that we've received from his insurance for the last 3 years. You wanna help me?
Plus bills we paid.
Plus bills we've paid.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of binders. I didn't know we had that many.
Yeah. So this is pediatric cancer and the late effects of pediatric cancer, and this is probably a jaw-dropping moment for a lot of people, but these are still growing and they'll continue to grow.
We get EOBs daily.
Yep, daily we get letters from the insurance saying what they're paying and what they're not going to pay and what might be our responsibility. But I honestly don't know like how much total is here, but we're guessing probably north of 10 million currently. Like I said, we have decent insurance. A lot of families these days, and good insurance is hard to come by, and your support through Tracy helps fill in the gaps for a lot of these families. Do you have anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. Which is this? As a sibling, what do you want to add?
It was hard because I couldn't really play with them.
Yeah.
And I was really used to that.
Yeah. Yeah, in case you couldn't hear, she said it was hard for her going through diagnosis because they were best buddies, they played a lot, and you know, as he got weaker and started losing his abilities to like walk and talk, it became harder for her to play with him and interact with him in the ways that she was used to.
That's why we got happy. That's why we got happy.
So, again, thanks for your continued support to Leaps of Love and everything that the supporters of Leaps of Love does for them. Families like ours are truly, truly grateful for the support that's given to her.